Hi everyone, this is Jeff from Photomatix Pro, and today I'm going to show you how to use the brand new Adobe Photoshop Lightroom plugin from Photomatix Pro. Now the plugin can be downloaded from the hdrsoft.com, that's hdrsoft.com website, and that's where you'll find Photomatix Pro. Just go to the beta version and go to whatever Windows or Mac version, and you'll find the Lightroom plugin. So to use the Lightroom plugin, we're going to go ahead and load it into Lightroom first, and we're going to go down into our plugin manager under the file menu, and then we're going to click on add. Now when you get the Lightroom plugin, just go ahead and throw it into a folder. Remember where the folder was, and then we can go ahead and find, I just put it into one called Adobe, and I'm going to click on add plugin, and there we go. That's all there is to it. It's already installed, it's running, it's done. We don't even have to reboot Lightroom. It's ready to run. So let's go ahead and put it to the test, and I'm going to go ahead and click on some images here, and we will take these into Photomatix Pro. So I'm going to go ahead and select my three images, and I'm going to go up to File, and I'm going to go right up here to Plugin Extras now under the File menu, click on Export to Photomatix Pro. It gives you this little kind of a warning dialog box that basically just tells you that it's going to convert those to 16-bit TIFF files and put them in the RGB color space and then export them out to Photomatix Pro. So I'm not sure why it tells you that, but I guess it wants you to know. So that process is done. We're going to now create the HDR file within Photomatix Pro. So I'm going to go ahead and click on OK. I'm going to go ahead and go with the default settings here. This is the beta version, and one thing you'll see is this reduced noise, which is new in the beta version. So now what's happening is Photomatix Pro is taking my images and it's aligning all the source images. Now I handheld these, so it might have to work a little harder than if I'd shot these on a tripod. But I did shoot these in kind of a burst mode, so they should be pretty good. But after it's done the alignment, it's going to create the HDR image, and then once the HDR image is done being created, it's going to go through and do the noise reduction. And like I said, this is a really great feature that I'm glad they added into this new beta version, because the one problem I always have with Photomatix when you're doing tone mapping is that it tends to generate a lot of noise in your image. So I think the lower the noise level going into the tone mapping process, the better off you are. So here you can see it's creating that HDR image, and now it's going through and doing the noise reduction. I haven't really had a chance to compare this with the old version to see how much it actually is reducing the noise, but I can tell you that any noise reduction is good noise reduction when it comes to HDR images. So once this is actually done creating this file, it will actually open this up. Now this is one that what you're seeing here on the screen is one that I actually did previously. And I'm going to go ahead and close that file. And so this is our HDR file, and it looks really nasty to start with, but as you can see, when I move the mouse over, you get this preview box right over here. I'm going to click on there so you can see it. You get this preview box that shows you where all the detail is within your image. And you can see even in this dark area right here, there's detail back there. There's really actually good value detail in that darkest area. So the next step would be to go to tone mapping. And tone mapping is going to open up. There's my defaults. This is actually my last settings that I use. And I'm just going to make some really quick adjustments here because I need to get out of here and show you what happens. So I'm just going to drag this luminosity all the way up. And actually that looks pretty good right there. I'm going to go ahead and click on process. I'll go ahead in a future tutorial and kind of run through all the bits and pieces of the beta, because it has changed a little bit from previous versions, especially if you're using, like, say, version 2.5. There's some really excellent things that they've done with this new upgrade with the new beta 3.1.8, and I think you'll really be happy with it. But what we're doing right now is we're combining all those tone map settings back into a final image, and then that final image will show up here. Now this is never my final image because I always work on my tone map images in Photoshop. And this was actually really quickly done, and I would probably have toned this down. This is really way overdone HDR stuff here, but for the sake of this tutorial, it will work for us. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to save this, and what we'd like to do is we'd like this image to jump right back into Lightroom where we left off. Very much like if you're working in an image in Lightroom, you take it to Photoshop, when you hit save, it goes right back into your collection. Unfortunately, that is not the way that this works. So what we've got down here is a little check mark box that says Open Saved Image With, and I'll go ahead and zoom in so you can see that. Open Saved Image With, and we're going to take it right back into Lightroom. Now you might think, okay, well, I just said it didn't do that. Well, it does and it doesn't. When I click on Save, first of all, it's saving it in a different file location, not the location that my raw files came from. The second thing is that it, instead of just popping it right back in your collection, you need to import it back in. So I'm going to go ahead and just use, make sure that, I'm going to use the default location. I'm going to give it a custom text name here. I'm going to go ahead and use that one. I've already set this up. The important thing I would tell you is to make sure your keywords are the same keywords that you had from the raw files. Keyword your images and then use the same keywords, because that's going to help you actually find it within your collection. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Import. And when it gets done, which didn't take very long at all, you can see here's my image. Now to find it along with my, my other files, I'm going to go ahead and find the keyword for all of those. And then over to the right here, you can see when I put my mouse up on there, on the keywords, see this little arrow right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on that arrow. And what that's going to do is it's going to take me to all of those files. But within those files should be the one I just created. So here's all my keyworded files that show up. From this point, I can actually go in and start working this file in the Develop module and start doing all the things that I would normally do to my HDR file. I mean, lighten it up and take the vibrance down a little bit, and maybe take down the saturation, and just start working the image and really start trying to make this look really great, because I never finish my images in Photomatix. It's just kind of a starting point to get to the final image. So there you go. I hope you got a little insight into using the new plugin. Like I said, you can download that at hdrsoft.com and then load it into Lightroom, and off you go. All right, if you want to ask me any other further questions, you can email me at jeff@photowalkpro.com. Have a great day.